Nalanda, the world's first university, and the man who burned it. Imagine a city of knowledge, a place where the air itself smells of ink, sandalwood, and ancient wisdom. 10,000 students walked these corridors from China, Persia, Greece, from Korea. They all came here. This was not just a university. This was the brain of the entire ancient world. Its library held 9 million manuscripts. 9 million. It took 3 months just to burn them all. The smoke rose so thick and so high. Travelers could see it from 50 miles away, and when the fire finally died, 12 centuries of human knowledge were gone. Forever. So who did this? Why did they do it? And what exactly did we lose that day? Because what burned in Nalanda wasn't just paper, it was humanity's memory itself. Was this the single greatest act of intellectual destruction in all of human history? Did one man's rage wipe out cures for diseases we are still searching for today? And here's the question that haunts every historian. Was it even intentional? Stay with me, because the truth is far more complex and far more disturbing than you think. If you love uncovering the hidden chapters of history that never made it into your textbooks, subscribe right now. Hit the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. To understand what was lost, you first need to understand what Nalanda actually was. It was founded in the 5th century AD in the kingdom of Magadha, in what is today the state of Bihar, India. At its peak, Nalanda was home to over 10,000 students and the 2,000 teachers. The campus stretched across 14 hectares, 8 massive compounds, 10 temples, dozens of classrooms, meditation halls, and laboratories. It had the world's largest library. Students studied medicine, mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, linguistics, and the arts, all under one roof. The Chinese scholar Xuanzang traveled all the way from Tang Dynasty China, a journey of thousands of miles just to study here. He stayed for years. He described Nalanda as a place where the sounds of discussion never ceased, day or night. This was not charity. This was excellence. Nalanda demanded the sharpest minds in the world, and it got them. Kings funded it. Emperors donated gold. The Gupta dynasty, the Pala dynasty, they all poured wealth into this one place. Knowledge is the most powerful weapon ever created. We come to the part that history remembers with silence and shame. The year is 1193 AD. A Turkic military commander named Bakhtiyar Khilji is sweeping across northern India. He has already sacked cities. He is fast, brutal, and utterly without mercy. When he arrives at Nalanda, he doesn't find warriors. He finds scholars, old men with books, young monks in prayer. According to historical accounts, Khilji ordered the entire complex set on fire. Every building, every manuscript, every scroll. The monks who did not flee were killed. Some accounts describe scholars being burned alive with their own books. The great library, Dharmaganja, burned for 3 months straight. 3 months. Think about that. The fire fed itself on knowledge for 90 days before there was nothing left to burn. Here's where the story becomes truly devastating, because we don't just mourn what we know was lost. We mourn what we can never know was lost. That is a different kind of grief entirely. Among the 9 million manuscripts, there were texts on medicine that described surgical procedures not rediscovered until the 19th century. There were astronomical calculations that mapped stars and planetary movements with extraordinary precision. There were mathematical texts, possibly including early work on calculus and number theory, centuries before Europe touched these ideas. Xuanzang alone had carried back 657 texts to China. Those survived, but the originals, gone. Scholars estimate that humanity lost the equivalent of several hundred years of scientific and philosophical progress marred in a single afternoon. Now here's the uncomfortable question, the one most documentaries skip. Was Bakhtiyar Khilji acting alone? Was this personal rage or calculated strategy? Some historians argue it was purely military. Nalanda's monks looked like soldiers to an invading army. Others argue it was deliberate, that destroying the intellectual center of a civilization is the most efficient way to break it permanently. Because when you burn the books, you don't just erase the past, you blind the future. After Nalanda's fall, Buddhism as an intellectual force virtually disappeared from the Indian subcontinent. Think about that sequence. Burn the university, watch the civilization follow. Was that coincidence? But here's something the darkness of this story often overshadows. Nalanda was not forgotten. For centuries, Indian scholars, monks, and historians kept the memory alive. They refused to let it become just ruins. In 2010, the government of India announced the revival of Nalanda University, rebuilt near its original site in Bihar. In 2014, Nalanda University reopened its doors. Today, it welcomes international students once again. From Asia, from Europe, from across the world. The library is small now compared to what once stood there, but that idea refused to die. And perhaps that is the real lesson of Nalanda. You can burn the books, but you cannot burn the belief that knowledge matters. So here is the question I want to leave with you today. If the library of Nalanda had survived, where would humanity be right now? Would we have cured cancer 100 years earlier, reached the stars sooner, understood the mind more deeply? We will never know, and that not knowing is perhaps the greatest tragedy of all. If this story moved you, if it made you feel the weight of what was lost, share it. Let someone else feel it too. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment. What do you think humanity lost most when Nalanda burned? Next time, we go even deeper into another lost world, another erased civilization, another chapter history tried to forget. I'll see you there.